Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. This is Let's Play Train Simulator, and I'm not exactly looking forward to this one because the Hull, in my opinion, is the worst of the three trains here. And I have to drive that one on a roughly 1 hour scenario here. A challenging timetable to run to Williton awaits, but some important tasks need to be done first. We have to do some shunting. We have to do some shunting with a Hull locomotive. That is going to be interesting. We drove it in the first scenario on a drive to Williton. We're going to do another drive to Williton first. We've got some stuff to do. Let's get started. I feel like I'm on some messed up version of Wheel of Fortune. First off, let's get this locomotive turned on the turntable, back her out, and pull onto the turntable. Close this message to continue. Okay, we will do that. I'm going to put the reverser into reverse. You're not seeing this yet because the HUD is currently not loaded for the purpose of the message, but there it is. Everything is set up now. We're going to go into reverse. I'm going to back up no faster than 5 miles per hour. I need to put a little speed on, unfortunately, to little regulator on. So we're going to... That is faster than 5 miles per hour. Okay, not as fast as I wanted to go. Well, this is going to go well. Let's look outside here. That's the turntable. We're going to hit the brakes immediately. Once clear of the points, stop and change them so you can access the turntable. I'm going to work on that. How am I doing for my points? Am I clear of the points? I think so. Take a slow driving onto the turntable. Ensure the locomotive is centered before pressing G to commence rotate. Facing the right way, head back out to the end of the station. Okay, so that's... It's not going to let me do it. Oh, that's promising. I guess I'm not quite clear of the point, am I? Just a small amount of regulator to get ourselves back a wee bit further, it looks like. Oh, the brakes are on. That might be a good reason I can't go. Can I go now? Now it's going to let me. Okay, now I can't stop, of course. I told you I didn't like this train, did I? I think I remember saying I don't like this train. We're going to go on top of the train for this job. Getting this centered on the turntable is going to be a very, very challenging task. Let's put a few brakes on, not much. I have to remember the G button for the turntable. I should be good to center about now, I believe. Stop. I think I'm centered, guys. Let's hit G. And now we're going to move the reverser. Actually, it stays forward. Nothing changes here. It stays forward. So now we're on the Wheel of Fortune. And forward we go. So we are done our little turntable experience. We're going to put a little more regulator on to try to get the speed up where I want it, which is around 10 miles per hour. Hopefully without breaking it. It's very easy to break 10 miles per hour here. So we want to get to the Minehead Shunt. We're going to stop there. I think we're going to couple these cars right over here. Nope, I take that back. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not sure where we're stopping, to be honest. So if I check the map looking ahead, this is set in our favor. We're stopping at the shunt. So the shunt is set for us. We're good for that. We're going to couple to the cars, and we're going to be pulling ahead to Dunster. We're still within the speed limit, so we're okay. We're going to be stopping at the shunt up ahead, so I'm preparing to slow down a little bit now. I want to stop within that little orange marker. I'm going to start braking now, very heavily for it. Taking the brakes off for a sec. And now we're fully within the orange, so I should go ahead and make that stop. So I'm going to hide this now. Where do I want to go? We're going to process our stop. I'm going to let it actually do that first before I do anything else. So once I've done the stop process, we'll bring up the map and figure out what we're doing. I think it's just changing the switch behind us. Good work. We've now only to couple up and get going. Yep. So we're going to look behind. Oh, it's already set up for us. Okay, I don't have to do anything. Excellent. So we're going to go backwards here. We're going to try not to run into the cars we're coupling to. That would be fantastic to not run into them. Get a little more regulator, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. I'm going to hit the brakes as I get beyond the switch. I believe it's these cars right here that I'm coupling to. If I hit this, yeah, those are the cars. So I'm going to try it. There we go. That's the back of the train. There's our load of coal. And I'm going to be changing to the regular coal view in a second. I'm just keeping this view for right now because it's a more simplistic view for this purpose. I'm going to change to the coal view in a moment. So if you're wondering why I'm not using the coal view on the train, don't worry, it's coming. So I'm going to change. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to go and pop ahead here and watch the train come back. Again, need a small amount more regulator, I think, to make this trek. So I gave it a little more steam. Let's turn towards this and watch this. I'm going to start braking. That's about perfect. We'll take it. We're ready to set off for Dunster. So I'm going to move that up. Brakes are still off. Regulator is up. I'm going to bring up the steam view now. So we're going to hide this. You can now take a look at the things we have to work with. So I'll be happy once we're clear of the station because we're going to be able to go up to 25 miles per hour. So we're going to go ahead and look out the window here. You can see this other train again hanging out here. That's just Minehead Shunt. That's not the name of the train. That's the name of the spot where we stopped. Our ETA is currently expected to be very early, so I'm very, very happy with how this has started out. I'm extremely pleased, actually. Zooming ahead, you can see that this is something for the other direction, and you can see there is a green signal up ahead for us on the other side, which is this side. So we blew the horn for the crossing, even though I think we did it a couple times already when we got moving. We're soon going to be able to get up to 25 miles per hour, and Dunster is straight ahead. Just a straight shot right in the direction we're going. I'm going to go ahead and concentrate the steam power a little better now that we are moving. So once we get to the 25, we can just shoot right up there. And here we go! So frankly, shunting a steam engine was probably the hardest part of the mission, in my opinion. We've just gotten through that with flying colors. So let's go ahead and continue this mission and get to where we need to go. We'll review the itinerary a little closer once we get to Dunster. At that point, I'll start reviewing the itinerary as we leave Dunster. Because Dunster is very close, and I don't want to spend too much time fussing over other things while we're trying to get to our first stop, especially because there's a 15 right before the station. We're going to have a long thoroughfare at some point, and we'll deal with it then. We'll look at it then. Of course, there's the secret part that I'm going to be doing a game save at Dunster as well, so we don't have to do the shunting part again. That's the other part of it. We got lots of time to make this stop, so I'm not concerned at all. Lots of foot crossings here. Is that another foot crossing up ahead? I think it is. Let's look at the signal meanwhile. Green. So we're good to go. We're just going to look out each side of the train here. I think this is the side the station is on, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this view for the station. We're now within a 3/10 of a mile of the sign, so I'm going to go ahead and put some brakes on now to get our speed down to 15. And that was a little too efficient, so I've released the brakes for now. And we'll fine-tune it when we get a little closer. In fact, we already gained some time, so this is very interesting. Zooming ahead once again, we're going to notice again that it is a crossing here. There's a junction to do something over here. I'm not sure what's over there. If we look at the map, we can take a closer look very quickly. We can see that it is actually just to go over to this track. That's basically what it is. Oops. Okay, so we're going to need to start slowing down for Dunster now. I'm applying the brakes for Dunster Station. And actually the station is apparently on this side. Oh no, this is the platform. I can't tell anymore. Okay, this is the platform. Bit of a grassy platform. I didn't think it was a platform because I expected mostly concrete. But they have grass growing on their platform. That is very interesting. That's the end of the station platform right there. We're still technically in the station. Let's open the doors and let passengers on at Dunster. what seems like an eternity, leaving Dunster. Our next stop is Blue Anchor, up platform. And I'm going to probably not make the 15 before my steam starts being wasted. So I'm going to go ahead and just let the speed go up for a bit. I'm going to zero the regulator. I'm going to go ahead and function the regulator down to a more precise level. And I'm going to start just managing my speed until I can move up to 25. Time to look out the window again. Just blow the whistle because you can, right? I've zeroed the regulator for the time being. And now I can go ahead and I can increase again as we're going to be able to start moving up to 25 miles per hour. Our ETA at Blue Anchor is 10:26. Or is that 5? That's 10:25. We're going to arrive at 10:25. But we are already gaining time on our actual ETA, so we just have to keep the course here. Lowering my regulator now because we're getting close to the speed limit. I want to make sure we don't break it. So we're just going to let the rest of the steam work through. We're going to put a minimal application to try to maintain around the speed we want to have, 25 miles per hour. I'm going to drop it now because we are at 25, so we can go ahead and just let it go. We do have a downhill coming up, so I am going to be keeping an eye on that downhill segment. We may have to apply some brakes as we take the downhill. In fact, I actually dropped below 24, so I'm applying the regulator again, as we're not on a strong enough downhill yet for it to affect us. However, it is changing. We are now getting to about a 1 in 200. We're aiming towards that very soon. We're at a 1 in 247 right now. There's another 15 speed limit coming up before we enter Blue Anchor, so we want to make sure we drop for Blue Anchor anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep our throttle. We've already gained a good amount of time actually, so I'm going to keep the throttle about where it is. The reverser, or I should say the regulator, not the throttle. And actually I think we're hitting the downhill now anyway. Either that or the steam was working out. The steam was working out. So we're going to go ahead and just keep it where it is. This is a good pace for right now, and I'm happy with this pace. And I should have taken the time to review the itinerary. Don't worry, we will do that. It's right here. And you can see that we have 8-9 minutes between stops after this one. So it's probably better we concentrate on the train for this stop. And for the next one, we're going to, actually, you know what, let's review it now. Let's just review it now. We're going to be stopping at Blue Anchor. We're going to go to Washford next, which is 3 miles away from where we are right now. We're going to drop then to Watchet for some more passengers at 10:42. We're going to go to Doniford Hall at 10:46, and then we're going to finish at Williton at 10:51. So we got at least a good half hour to go here on this journey. About 6-7 minutes on average per stop. I want to say 6 minutes between stops. So that's what we have to work with. I'm going to put the regulator back on because we're going down a little too quickly in speed right now. I do want to bring it down soon, but not quite yet. Even though we are gaining good time, even as we're slowing down, just being at 15 is enough to gain time right now, which is quite interesting if you think about it. We have a distant green signal telling us that the station is open to us. We can enter Blue Anchor Station as scheduled. Now I'm going to start worrying about this 15, so I'm going to apply a little bit of brake now to make sure we're down in time. Going to let that continue to slow down with no further brakes applied, and now I have to do a little bit more of a brake. A little more, please. Now I need those brakes to apply a little. I can release them now, I believe. So close. There we are. So as you may remember, the semaphore signal shows a green signal. We are clear to enter. And the up platform, I believe, is starting on this side. So this is the side we're going to watch right here. Speed is already slowing a little quicker than I expected the speed to go down. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a small regulator on there to maintain speed for a moment as we come into the platform. Table mustard. Available here at Blue Anchor Station. There's the ladies' washroom. I missed the men's one. And there's the station sign, Blue Anchor. Very nice. Let's get the entire train in if we can. I think the engine will be on the platform too if I can pull it off. So back to applying some brakes. Okay, full stop now. Arrival at Blue Anchor. Leaving Washford, or leaving Blue Anchor, and it's Table Mustard behind. Our next stop is going to be Washford. I should not get to 15 once again before the steam starts being wasted, so I'm just going to let the speed go up. I'm going to drop the throttle now, or the regulator now, and start managing our flow a little better. 33% will do the job, so small regulator at this point. You notice I took a central view leaving. I already checked the signal. I knew it was a green signal. So we're taking the central view to watch the tracks merge here. And that's why I wanted that view, to show the track merge. And that signals for the other direction, so we don't mind about that at all. There are no signals up ahead for us, so we are good to proceed. There's a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit sign that we just crossed, and we're going to be leveling up to that in a moment. I'm starting to do so now because I was far enough under to start gaining. So we're going to go ahead and let it get to 25 on its own. Our ETA at Washford is 10:33:30, and our ETA is getting down to that right now. So we're going to again gain some time as we head towards Washford. Keeping an eye on the speed. I'm going to lower the regulator now to make sure we don't cross, because there is still going to be some residual steam helping gain speed in the meantime. So I'm going to just watch our regulator carefully now. Turns out I did not gain the full mile I feared I might have. Now I am at 25, so I'm going to try to hold that now. But we have an uphill coming, and we're just starting to enter that uphill right now. We're on a 1 in 218 gradient at this moment. That is going to steepen, so I am going to have to keep a small regulator, possibly a little bit more, in order to maintain speed on this uphill to Washford. In fact, the uphill gradient is now 1 in 131, so it is starting to affect us. And just so you can see a little better, I'll bring up the F3 view for a moment. You can see the gradient a little better. It's now a 1 in 74 gradient on the uphill. So we're really going to have to put some steam into this engine to keep this puppy purring. Yes, I just said keep a puppy purring. I mean, try keeping a kitty barking. So as we go up this hill, let's take a quick look at our lovely train here. The Ravingham, I can't even get a good look at it now. The Ravingham Hall, as you can see, that's what we're driving today. And this will be all around. We're getting away from the trees here. Now we get more trees. That's what we're driving. Up a hill. Over a bridge. Excuse me. Gonna move the throttle up a little, and let's look back outside in the center. Or on this side, perhaps. This will be where our signals come, I believe. Now, we're not really gaining any time on our ETA on this stop, so we're going to have to be a little more aware of our stopping power on this one and make sure we use it efficiently. Because it looks like we're going to be stopping right around the time we want to make the stop. We also have a 20-mile-per-hour speed restriction to make this just a little more challenging as we get in there. But the good news is this uphill gradient is going to do a lot to get that speed down. So I'm going to start slowing down maybe about 0.2 of a mile out, because the uphill gradient should be enough to slow me down at that point, I believe. We're just going to do a test as I lower the regulator and see how that test works out. Because this, actually, 0.2 might even be too much. On this level of gradient, 0.2 of a mile out might be too much. Just to again show you what it says right now, 1 in 65 is what it currently says for our gradient. So the steepest gradient in the UK is on the cross city line, I believe, near Birmingham. I believe it's a 1 in 38. That is a steep gradient. This is maybe not even, this is still less than double that. It's still more than double that, I guess. Yeah, less than double that. So still very steep, but not as steep as it could be. Let's lower the regulator now a little bit. I'm not at 0.2, but I want to do a test anyway, so I'm going to lower the regulator, see what happens. Pretty good lower, so I'm going to go ahead and maintain a little bit. We're down in the 23 now. And actually, the station is very close to the sign, so I'm going to let it keep coming down anyway. We have a distance... Well, that's actually the home signal saying that we are green to go here. So as I pass the 20-mile-per-hour marker, I'm going to go ahead and start hitting the brakes a little bit here, because I think I'm going to need it at that point. You got a whistle out there for the whistle board. Brakes on now. I'm going to go ahead and release the brakes now because they're coming off very strong at this point. In fact, way too strong. I need regulator to get in there again. So a little bit of a waste of steam here. I've now zeroed the regulator once again. This is our platform. I want to try and put the engine beyond the platform at this station so I can get more cars onto the platform. That is ideal at this stage. So right now is a good spot to stop. I might have gone a little too far. I think that's the tender at the front, but I'm not sure. I need to stop now, please. That'll do. Arrival at Washford. Leaving Washford Station. Our next stop is Watchet. So we're going to hit the point where the steam is wasted again. We're actually not there yet. I'm surprised. Let's watch our speed as we get to 20. Actually, 20 is our speed limit on this section, so we can't go any faster here. We're going to have to use the downhill brakes. Apply them now. That was lucky. I was extremely lucky on that one. We're going to have to keep doing that, looks like. Notice we can't hold the brakes in a running setting. We're going to have to actually keep the brakes going throughout this section. So we're going to have to keep them going up and down. So the challenge is to maintain the right brake pressure on this section throughout the entire area. So I'm going to reapply now because we're going up. Going to take it down, and then we're going to reapply because we're in the 20. Take it back off. This entire section is going to be like that. This is probably the most technically challenging section, only because we have to try to maintain a 20, which I just barely did. Now the good news is we are going to be on time according to our ETA. We have a yellow in the other direction. That's not our signal. That's the other signal. Our ETA is being kept somewhat consistent though, which is a little worrying. It is going down though, so we just have to maintain in the 19 to 20 area. We don't ever want there to be maximum inches available. We want it, and we don't want it to be so much that we slow down the train to a speed that is too slow. So this is a very challenging section. That brake didn't really do anything. There we go. I seem to be in an area where I should be able to maintain it now, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it going up and down here. I just have to keep an eye on it. I can't let my eye off of that for the next few minutes here. So 5 minutes of this, ladies and gentlemen. We got 5 minutes of this. So I've removed the brakes again, as you can see. And you can kind of tell if I'm applying brakes or removing them by the red. The red kind of gives it away. And then the green means that they're released. So now I'm over 20 again. Time to put it back into the red. And repeat ad nauseum. Okay. So I've been doing some research on the West Somerset Railway, and I'm not going to try to bring up this information now. I'll try and do it on the next segment where I'm going uphill, assuming I have one of those still coming up. But I've been doing some research on the West Somerset Railway, and there is actually a series of galas that they like to hold. They like to put on some steam engines on a special display besides the regular runs. They do the same with some diesel engines as well. I actually have a West Somerset Railway pack. There's a 60s gala coming up. There's a Legends gala in August, I believe, coming up. So there are different ways that you can actually go to the West Somerset Railway and just get a look at some of the things that used to run on the railway lines of the past, prior to when you were alive, in many cases. Definitely before I was alive, for sure. So you can get a look at all the 60s, 50s, 40s stuff just by going to these galas and getting it, and you can take your fill of what you see there. Get some pictures, and know that if you live in the UK, your grandparents may have ridden on those trains in some way, shape, or form. So that's, or been ridden on carriages pulled by those trains is a better way to put it. So, good way to get a look at some history. I'm going to, I've spoken to a friend of mine who I'm not going to, I'll mention him if it actually happens. I've spoken to a friend of mine about making some scenarios based around the gala. I'm going to keep an eye out for more information about the gala. He's going to do the same. Because I think he agrees this would be a good scenario pack if we can get it working for, if we have all the stock available in Train Simulator, it would be a good scenario pack. I think he agrees with me. So my goal is to eventually come back to the upgrade version of this route. We're no longer on a downhill, so I'm actually losing speed now. Let's put some regulator on. So my goal is to come back to another version of this route. And on the other version of this route, I'm going to see if we can play those scenarios. And my goal is to release some of those scenarios the day of the gala. That way you know what's going on at the same time I'm releasing it. And you know that the gala took place. I actually want to do it as a bit of a special feature here. So I'd like to see if we can get some special scenario plays based on that. I'm gonna obviously have to record them in advance. We're gonna have the timetable in advance, so we're not gonna have access to last minute changes of things. But I do want to see if I can at least have something recorded that is similar to what is scheduled for the day, what information we have, and I want to see if we can get information on trains that are nearby on the line that are going to be future runs. So we can try to show the thing in some kind of status similar to what is real life. And that's what I really want to do on these. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Downhill, 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 don't speed. That's what I really want to do on this kind of scenario pack. So I'm going to see if we can get some scenarios on the channel like that. I'm going to see if we can get them live at the time that they take. Well, not live, but airing on my channel, released on my channel at the time they take place. So people who might be at the event might be able to also tune in and see this at the same time on this channel while they're riding. So it's a way to enjoy both elements at once. It'd be kind of neat if they could start the video at the same time that their train takes off at the gala and be able to follow the ride with me all the way through the their actual live ride. That would be kind of cool. And they can see what's different because we can't mimic everything in the game, unfortunately. So we're going to make our stop right now. We're going to lower our speed at this time because we have lots of time for the stop. Looks like I managed to speed well enough that we can get in here at a good speed. I'm not going to break the 15 as the engine goes beyond the platform because I have to stop anyway. We are at 7 miles per hour right now, which is just fine. I'm going to just manage 7 miles per hour, so I'm not going to go beyond that if I can help it. But I also don't want to drop below it for a moment because we still have some station ground to cover. And we have a few seconds to make the stop. A good half a minute, actually. We can get from 7 to 0 quickly. Actually, we just went down to 6. We're fully in the station. Let's actually stop now. So we are pulling into our stopping position here at Watchet. We're going to blow the whistle as we leave because there's a crossing. Arrival at Watchet. Leaving Watchet. Our next stop is Doniford Halt. And I did previously call it Doniford Hall. It actually is Doniford Halt. A very easy mistake to make. The T and the L look similar here. So we're going to get our speed up to 15 miles per hour quickly. I'm going to drop the reverser down to 30% before we actually have our steam become well used here. So we're going to take 15 right now. We're going to bring the regulator down to 0 for a moment. I'm going to put some brief brakes on because it looks like I'm going to need to take that off now. Up to 25 we go. So our arrival time at Doniford Halt is 10:46, and our ETA is slightly behind that at 10:47. We're about 15 seconds late according to the ETA. So we're going to have to drop our stop at Doniford Halt very quickly because we have a 15 right in front of there. So we're going to have to also try and lower our speed before that as well. Now those of you who are astute and observant may have noticed that my position at the previous station might have changed just slightly. There is a reason for that. At one point I messed up something on my recording setup, so I had to go back to that save game that was at that station. And then as I went to register another save closer to the time that I was going to resume, all of a sudden wheel slip started showing up constantly, not stopping. It wouldn't go away. And I later discovered there seems to be a bug where wheel slip occurs with a few inches left on your pressure, even if you're not moving. So I had to basically work my way back to where I was and start recording from there. So I literally just went through the last hour and a half getting back to where I was and finding these bugs with the train. So yeah, some interesting information here. Anyway, let's go ahead and get our stop at Doniford Halt. I'm getting close to the point I need to slow down. In fact, I should do that right now. So I will try to put some square inch pressure down right now. I'm going to move it to a running position and try to bring that down quickly to a 15. I'm going to go ahead and release it now. I might have brought it down just a little early. I actually have a better braking power than I knew I had in this train. Okay. I'm going to make sure I stop before we get to the time listed on the due arrival time of 10:46:45. So my goal is to stop before that. That should be easy because the station is right over here. I shouldn't have a problem doing that. So I'm going to get as much of the train in as I can, but I'm going to go ahead and put some square inch slowdown now because the station is very, very small. I don't want that much. I don't want wheel slip. Thank you. That will do nicely. So we have arrived at Doniford Halt. Leaving Doniford Halt. Our next and final stop today is Williton. We'll be stopping on the up platform, of course. I've gone back in the train for a moment, as you can see. So you can see the firebox is closed right now. There's my view out the window. And there's the view from the other side of the cab. So back out the window with my head. I'm going to put my head out the window this time. So our due time of arrival to Williton up platform. I'm going to move my reverser down now again. My due arrival time is 10:51, so I've got about 3 minutes to get there. And you might have noticed the platform in the HUD down below before we even got our stop at the Doniford Halt. So we're actually going to be there probably within 2 minutes because we're 0.6 of a mile away. We're probably going to be there in about 2 minutes. So I don't forecast any problem with this last remaining stop here. And we should be okay with our final, not 167, but more like 165, because we're already at a perfect score. I'm going to go ahead and reduce my speed because I don't need to come in any faster. I'm going to at some point need to drop my speed down to 15 anyway, which I'm going to have to be down at 15 by that point anyway, so I can crawl in the platform properly. Yes, you must crawl. You must crawl into the platform. Yeah. Now there should be no one in the platform. If we go center on where the platform is right here, no one is there. So actually take that back. There's someone in the siding. But that shouldn't be affecting us. So we're going to go ahead and start getting ready to slow down right now. Just a light brake application at this point. If we look ahead at the signal, we can see that that is not our signal. Here's our signal. And as you can see, we are green going into the platform. So we're going to be taking the left platform, which is the up platform. I'm getting down to 16 a little early if I can. So we're down within the speed limit now. I should be able to slow down at an appropriate time that we should be able to complete our journey. So we're crossing the 15 limit now. We are entering and adjoining the platform. I'm going to try and get the entire train in. I'm going to apply some brake pressure now to try to slow the train down for the crawl into here. And now I'm going to go ahead and release it completely for a moment. I'm going to apply some more pressure again. And again, I'm going to release it completely. So now we're crawling into the end of the platform. I do have a red, so I cannot pass that red signal. I'm going to have to settle for not getting one of my cars in the platform today, it looks like. I'm going to get as close as I can. I'm going at 2 so I can come to a quick stop as I need to. Now I need to stop. And that's the end of that. So that is the end of our service. Arrival at Williton Up platform. Let's go ahead and take one last look at our train as we finish this scenario. Use pure cocoa. There it is. Pure caffeinated cocoa, I guess that was concentrate cocoa. Anyway, that's the end of this scenario. And needless to say, we had a bit of a fun time with this, or at least I had a fun time you didn't get to see with that, because the game decided it wanted to mess with me and make me redo the whole scenario off camera. So there we go. I had to do that for your amusement, and I hope you are amused by that. In any case, that should be a completed scenario at this point, and we are going to go to the ending screen and get our score in just a moment. So we should be okay with our full and perfect score, I would imagine, at this point. another train seems to be coming in here. I seem to have also unlocked an achievement called Round the Houses. So I'm going to see what that is later on when I get to the menu. You can also check my achievements yourself if you happen to see my profile. There's a train coming in. I don't want to end this until I know what train is coming in. This appears to be what the red signal was for. If I, well done, driver, right time every time, just the way the Great Western would have liked it. And there you go. It is a 7F, I believe, coming in. So if I were to turn around right now, and I'm going to go ahead and do so. I don't normally do this at the end of scenario screen, but if I turn around now, this red signal above me is probably being held by that train right there. And it's still on the track, so I couldn't go yet anyway. In case we're done here, let's go to the scoring screen. And that's the end of that, and there's Round the Houses. I don't know what it means. I can go to the achievement screen. I can probably tell you in just a second if I'm willing to spend the time bringing it up, which I think I will go ahead and do. If I bring up the achievements for Round the Houses, it tells me that I have to complete the scenario A Summer Spin, which makes perfect sense. What else would it mean? That's why I got it as the scenario completed. In any case, we have another 7F scenario next time. It's our last steam engine drive planned for this route. There may be other ones coming in the future as workshop scenarios or other things I might find on UK Train Sim, or who knows, maybe Alan Thompson Sim will have a scenario there. Not likely because not a lot of AP stock runs here. But in any case, I will definitely be coming here for other things besides Steam as well. And of course, I still have the 33 scenario that wraps up this entire set as well. But next time it will be the 7F, scenario number 5, and I'll see you next time for that. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for your part of the world. I will see you next time for more Let's Play Train Simulator. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff. Support on Patreon if you wish. Join the Discord server, and I'll see you next time. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.